What's up, guys? I'm here to show you a couple midge patterns. Now that it's getting to be winter time, midges are going to be the most important insect in your arsenal because they're pretty much the only ones that are active year-round, especially from November all the way through March. The other bugs aren't active as much as the midges are, and so the trout are really going to be seeing more midges than anything, and as a result of that, they'll be keying on them. So these are just a couple flies that I like to use to imitate them in the wintertime and year-round. But this first one is called the Pure Midge Larva. It's by Barr, and it imitates the immature form of a midge, which is called the larva, obviously, and it just kind of looks like a tiny little worm that lives and crawls around on the stream bottom, just along the rocks. So you fish this right on the bottom with a dead drift, and hopefully it'll pick up a few fish. So the first thing I'm going to do, this is going to be a red one, so I'm starting my red 70 denier thread right behind the eye. I'm going to leave it there. Now I'm going to tie in just a piece of clear micro tubing, and I'm going to leave a little tag end sticking off, and you'll see why here in a minute. So I'm going to catch that, maybe put one more turn down, and then I'm going to start stretching it. Notice as I wrap back, I'm stretching this micro tubing back here, so it's going to tie in nice and thin there. So I'm going to wrap that back there till I get to the bend right about there, and then I'm going to come forward, maintaining a really smooth, thin underbody. That's the key. Smooth and thin is what's going to make this fly look good. The reason I left this tag end here is now I can pull this micro tubing tight as I can get it, come in and clip it, and there's no tag end. So now I'm going to grab this micro tubing back here, and I'm going to pull it tight. I want to be wrapping under tension, and I'm going to start wrapping this forward all the way. Oops. And I'm pulling it tight. I'm not letting the tension up, and I'm going to just wrap this forward until I get to where my thread's hanging at about the 90 or so, sorry about that, percent point. And then I'm going to tie it down. Now I can let off the tension a little bit while I wrap it. Then I'm going to pull tight again, come in, nip my tag end, just like that. Now, take a few wraps to tidy everything up, grab your whip finisher, and I like to do 2 whip finishes for security, because that way even if one comes undone, I've got another one. So I'm going to do 2 3-turn whip finishes to tie this fly off, and then I'm going to clip my thread there. So you see it's really smooth and uniform. There's a little bit of a bump up here at the head, but not much, so pretty worm-like. And that's, like I said, that's a little midge larva pattern. This next one's more of a pupa pattern. It's called the Black Beauty, and it's by Dorsey. This one you can tie on a bunch of different hooks. I'm tying here on, both of these are on TMCO 2488s, but you can tie them on 200Rs, TMCO 100s, 2487s, any hook you want, in sizes 20 down to 26 or 28, as small as you can go. So I'm going to shuck up another hook in my vise here. This time I'm going to start some black thread right behind the eye. I'm going to clip my tag there. Now I'm going to grab a piece of fine copper wire. You can use the ultra wire or you can use the Lagerton stuff. Just use the smallest size they have. So then I'm going to catch that wire right behind the eye there, and I'm going to wrap this back. Again, keeping smooth, even body. I'm going to wrap back all the way to the bend, and then I'm going to come forward. And I want to make sure that not only am I keeping a really smooth, skinny body, that I'm also covering up all that copper wire. Okay, so you've just got a uniform. There's a little filament there. I'll just clip that off. So you've got a nice thin black body and no copper wire showing through. Now I'm going to grab this wire and I'm going to spin it forward in probably anywhere from 4 to 7 turns of the wire, depending on the size of your fly. But I'm going to keep those segments nice and uniform. I'm going to spread them apart evenly to maintain a clean looking fly. Then I'll trap that wire up behind the eye there with a few wraps and just break it off. Now I'll grab a little bit of this black superfine dubbing, and I'm going to dub that onto my thread here. And you don't want too much. This is a size 20, And that's all the dubbing I have right there. So as you can see, not very much. A lot of people put too much on, and the thorax just is it's too bulky. It doesn't look realistic. So now I'm gonna start putting this wire on, and I'm gonna really try to build up a ball shape. You really want a nice round looking thorax, right like that. Okay. And now that's done, so I'm gonna whip finish, same thing. 1, 2, 3, pull it tight. 1, 2, 3, pull it tight. I'm gonna clip my thread. That's all there is to it. That's the Black Beauty. And this is the Pure Midge Larva right here. So a lot of times I'll just fish these two in tandem with split shot and an indicator. Drift that through the deep pools in the winter, and you should be getting into some fish. Thanks for tuning in. Tight lines.